the whole month of February was just the whole cycle of school on the weekdays, meets on the weekends, and trying to hang out with my friends and boyfriend in between. Moving on to March, things really started to pick up at this point in season. And then mind you, we had been competing every single weekend for like almost 2 months straight at this point. We had 2 double meet weekends in a row. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So now, instead of just having a singular meet on a weekend and like losing a day or two for my weekend, I had 2 meets back to back 2 weeks in a row. So we would compete Friday, Sunday, and we'd be traveling those days in between. Oh, guys, it was hard. It was really just rehab, train, compete, repeat the whole time. I had competed 4 full meets in 10 days. Some of those days I even competed 3 events instead of my 2 main events, and oh, guys, it was just a lot, okay? Sorry, I know I sound like I'm being so dramatic and so whiny and just like complaining, but it was hard, okay? I just was worried. I was like, we're gonna burn out. Like, we're gonna burn out before we even get to our conference championship, which is like one of the final meets at the very end of season. It's like one of the most important meets that we're building up towards. But throughout these weekends, these double meet weekends, where we were really supposed to be at the lowest of the low, like we were expecting to be completely exhausted, like not even able to compete. Like some of us, I was expecting some of us to be injured just from overuse, and I was like, this is a complete mess. I don't think it's a good idea. But at these meets, I really started to see all of our hard work show. Things really started to look up while we were in the double meet weekend cycle. At one of these meets, we had broken the vault record, and I'm so excited to say that I helped. And also I think we broke the bar record at the same meet, and we had qualified for nationals. And we were like, wow, like we didn't even think that we were capable of doing this. Like honestly, I think we always just thought of ourselves as lesser than and like not up to par with like the rest of our conference. And I think that's how a lot of people looked at us too. But at this point, we were like, let's try to keep the momentum going. And then we just did it again and again and again. And we had an amazing setup to our conference meet where we were really on our all-time high of the season, and everyone was just kind of taken aback, like, wow, like Brown, by us doing well, we kind of like threw everyone off guard. And we went into GECs, which stands for Gymnastics East Conference, feeling more confident than ever. At least that's how I felt. I really could feel the team like starting to come together at this point. And we went into GECs and kicked ass. That's all I can say. We broke 4 out of the 5 records. Many of these records had been set multiple years ago, maybe even like a decade ago. And we had broken the all-around team record, the vault record, the bar record, and the floor record. Insane year for my team. Like this point at GECs, I remember when we were just screaming when all of the scores started rolling in and we had realized how well we actually did and how many records we broke. I just will never forget that feeling. We were jumping up and down on the vault runway. We were hugging each other. I was like practically crying because I was like, wow, we just did that. Like this has been such a long, hard, and like strenuous season, and we just made that work. Incredible. Like I will never forget that ever. So after this complete high of GECs, we kind of rolled into spring break. So for spring break, everybody has a full week off, but we had like 3 or 4 days because we did have to get ready for nationals at this point. So for spring break, I think I went home for a day. I brought my boyfriend home with me for a day. My parents, my family, they got to meet him. I went into Boston for a day or two for my friend and teammate Taylor's birthday. And then we got to April when we had nationals. So after the 4-day spring break, we were back in the gym, back to the grind. We had to get ready for nationals. And the way that nationals works, it's not just a singular meet. It is like multiple days in a row. So you have the very first day, and then if you place top 2 in your session, you go to team finals. And then depending on how you did the first day and how you scored against other people, you can go to event finals. So you could potentially be competing for like 3 days straight. We were trying to prepare for that. We were trying to build up our endurance for that because none of us had competed for 3 days in a row before. And that's just like extremely demanding at this point in the season, especially considering how tired and burnt out everybody was. So we were just like back in the gym on the grind. I remember that this time especially, it was like very difficult to keep myself motivated because I think me and a lot of my teammates treated GECs as like the final hurrah. We were like, wow, it's like finally over. We just did so amazing. Now we have spring break. But that's not really how it works because we had to come back and have another one of the biggest meets of our season. I could just feel myself starting to fall out of the competition mindset at this point, which was really challenging to kind of pull myself back into because, you know, I had been on like vacation for like a few days. I'd hung out with my friends, my family, and then like having to get back into it and go to such a huge meet was like, okay. So we prepared for nationals. We went to nationals. It was at Cornell, which is in Ithaca, New York. So we drove down there on like Thursday or something. I missed classes on Thursday. I missed classes on Friday. I was so stressed because I was like, oh my gosh, like here we go again. I just finally caught up on some of my work and I'm gonna fall behind again because I'm gonna be gone for so many days. We competed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We did fantastic. I mean, the first day that we competed as a team, we won everything. We beat all the other teams at nationals. We had placed first, despite there being like 2 different sessions. Out out of all of the sessions in like the team all-arounds, we placed the highest. Second day did not go as well as the first day, but it's okay. We're not going to discredit our victories. Third day, I competed vault in event finals and I placed third, which is super exciting for me. And after everyone was done competing at event finals, we were done. Like, that was it. Our season was finally over. It was also really sad though at the very end of nationals because like I think me and a lot of my teammates were doing this meet and putting our all into this meet specifically for our seniors to give them the best final meet that they could have had, because this was it for them. This was the end of their college gymnastics career, and I'm really glad that we gave them that and we put our all into it. Kind of just like reflecting back on the season, it was really great to see the evolution of our team and the growth of our team, but I'm gonna stop rambling about that if you really don't care about my athletic journey at Brown. Getting back into things, so we came back to campus. We had a mandatory 2 weeks off from all athletic activity after we finished our season, so I was just like, wow, I have all this free time. I was able to catch up on my work. I was able to hang out with my friends, my boyfriend. Like, it was really great. I even got to go camping in between there. And then at the end of April, we had the housing lottery. So this was a whole mess in itself, let me tell you. So the way that the housing lottery works is that you can put yourselves into whatever housing group you want. You basically get to choose who you live with, and on a specific date, everyone gets sent a time slot number when you get to choose your housing. So people with the earliest time get the best selection because they can really choose from everything, and people with the latest time get the worst selection because they basically get the remnants of what everyone else didn't want. I had a really great time. Like, my housing group had a really good time, but they ran out of housing before they even got to us, and there were still like thousands of people after us that still didn't have housing. So we were like, what are they gonna do about this? Like, am I supposed to sleep on the grass? What are we gonna do? A lot of us were scared that we were gonna get forced into triples with people, like with random strangers. We had all sorts of theories, like what are they gonna do? Are they gonna send us downtown? But the way they solved this problem is they let a lot more of the juniors live off campus that they hadn't originally approved to live off campus. So that opened up a lot of extra housing, and I actually really lucked out because I got some of the junior housing instead of the sophomore housing, and the junior housing is nicer than the sophomore housing. So I'm really happy where I'm living next year. Then at the end of April, when the 2 weeks is up, we got back into the gym, but this was basically just back to like captain's practices. We weren't really doing that much, and it was just like super chill. Then at the very end of April, we had spring weekend, which is when Brown kind of puts up a huge concert for all the students, and they have all these events going on during the weekend, and they invited all of these different artists to come sing and perform in the main green. It was really nice. Everything was complimentary for Brown students, and it was a good experience. I mean, I had fun. And then moving into May, we had a gymnastics banquet, and I got selected as Rookie of the Year for my year, which is so exciting. Sorry, I get really weird when I talk about my own accomplishments, but you know, I'm just thinking about future me looking back on this in like 20 years, and you know what? I want to remember that. So I was very proud and very happy with that, and a lot of my other teammates got some really great awards, and I'm so proud of them. We also got our captains, and I'm so happy with my captains, and it's just, okay, very excited for next season. And then we had this gymnastics formal to kind of celebrate our season and how well we did, and somebody stole my jacket. So I had brought my black North Face puffer jacket with me, and somebody accidentally took it, and I started freaking out because this jacket had my school ID in it, my license, my credit card, my room key. Mind you, my room key to replace those costs like over $100 because they need to replace the whole entire lock and replace the keys because they can't make copies of the keys. So I was like freaking out. I was like, no way. Like my whole identity just got stolen along with my beautiful North Face jacket. I was so upset, but long story short, I got my jacket back, but I thought I'd just mention that because that was a whole crisis for a few days. And then from there, it was really just preparing for finals. I remember being absolutely terrified for one of my finals because I was borderline about to fail the class. I'm not even gonna lie. I fell super behind in this certain class, macroeconomics, and I was at one point convinced that I was not going to pass it. And I studied for like 30 hours for that exam, and I passed the class, so we're chilling. I took the class pass fail, which is like, it's like satisfactory, no credit. It's called S&C, and it doesn't count towards your GPA, but you still get credit for the course. So I took it S&C, and I just had to pass it, you know, to get that S. I was really nervous. I was genuinely convinced that I was not going to pass the final because I needed to get 20 points higher on the final than I had gotten on both of my midterms, and I was like, oh lordy. But I did that. And yeah, I mean, we took our finals. I moved out. I packed up all my stuff. My dad came and picked me up. I said goodbye to all my friends. It felt so weird because seeing my dorm empty was like nostalgic because that's how I had approached it at the very beginning of the year, and it's just looking back on where I had started and where I was at the end was crazy because I was like, wow, I truly truly can walk away from this and say that I grew so much and I learned so much. I honestly think I learned more outside of class than I learned in class, and maybe that sounds terrible, but just between meeting people and experiencing things, I learned more than I probably have ever learned in my life in this 1 year. I guess just looking back on the school year, flew by so much faster than I ever would have expected. I mean, I'm already a quarter of the way done with college and it just felt like it went by like that. I mean, yeah, when you're living it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going by so slow. I feel like I'm quite literally suffocating and drowning. It went by so fast. It's incredible. One of the things that made my college goodbyes to my friends like extra sad was that one of my really close teammates, one of my best friends really, is transferring out of Brown this year, and she's going to be going to UNC in the fall, which was really sad, but also I'm glad that she had the strength and the confidence to kind of make a change that was necessary for herself. But I'm definitely going to miss her a lot because she was undoubtedly one of my best friends that I had made from this year, so that was a super hard goodbye. Everyone else, it was like a sad goodbye, but realistically I'm gonna see them all in a few months, so it wasn't like the end of the world. To just sum up my year, I could just describe it as the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. I think next year it's gonna be a little bit less of the lowest of the lows just because I know what to expect now and I know how to handle it and I know how I receive that type of stuff, and like I'll know like what to do with myself now to keep myself grounded. I just want to finish this video off by saying like I really don't want you guys to like interpret me complaining or venting or telling you about my struggles as me not being appreciative of my opportunity, because I fully acknowledge my opportunity to be able to go to this school and be able to do a sport. Like, it is just an incredible thing that I've been provided with, and I never want to take that for granted. But I'm just kind of giving you guys an inside scoop of my personal experience my very first year and what made it difficult for me, what made it great for me. All in all, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did decide to click on this video and listen to this because you're going to be going to Brown in one of the upcoming years, or if you really want to go to Brown, I would highly recommend the school. I mean, it is a fantastic school academically. The community is great. As hard as it was, I had a very great experience, and I can just say that I'm so grateful for how much I've grown from it, and I think you will too. Like, I think it's very, very enlightening, and if you do have the opportunity to go to a school like this, I would take it. And yeah, I guess just thank you guys for sitting through this video. I'm really sorry that it was so long. That's really just sums up my whole year for you. A lot happened. A lot happened. But I wouldn't take back any of it because I really do believe that every single thing that happened to me this year is why I'm in this position that I'm in right now and why I'm the person I am today. And I know that's so cheesy to say, and it's like, oh my god, like, shut up, we don't care. And that's okay. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. My throat really hurts and I want to go finish eating my food. If you did watch this thing all the way through, maybe if you put it in 2x, no offense taken, I really hope that this might have helped at least one person maybe not feel alone, or helped another person kind of understand what your first college experience could be like, or even just for entertainment, if this was entertaining to you. I hope it was just helped you in some way. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I am forever grateful for this platform that I have here and that I'm able to come on here and share experiences like this with you guys. Bye guys. I love you the absolute most. Okay. Bye guys.